explorers of all things geekdom, welcome here to another edition of Geek Out Topics, where you hear a topic that we come up with at the top of our head and we'd like to talk about with each other mostly, and then share it with you guys, because we tell each other what the topics are, but we don't tell each other what our opinions are on the subjects until we record it. So this week's topic, well, first off, my name is Aaron, aka Lepham.
My name's Nathan, aka Grim.
Just the two of us this week. Eric Kuhn is busy. This week's topic is gaming as adults versus gaming as kids. I came up with this topic a couple of weeks back, and I brought it to Nathan. I was like, we gotta talk about this, dude. This is weird. This bothers me. Because I came up with the topic when I got Batman Arkham Knight. I went to the midnight release of Batman Arkham Knight, came home, played it for an hour, because, I was sleeping. I needed to sleep. I couldn't stay up all night playing it. And then I did nothing but play it for like 3 days straight, but I never beat it. And there's a reason for that. Because at the end of those 3 days, I realized that I was staying up later and later each day because I was grinding a game, and then I was like, but I want to do other things as well. So I was staying up, kind of picking back up the pace of the things that I was doing before that game came to my house. And that made me realize that when I was a kid, I could start a game, go from start to finish, and not put that damn thing down. Or if I put it down, I go right back to it. I don't want to do anything else but that game. But as adults, I feel like I have to do more. I want to do more, even if it's playing another game or playing other games with friends. Or we have this here as our career that we want to start YouTube. I have to pick up a game and start recording it eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
And so do you, and so does everybody. And then we have other people have their jobs outside of their house, and they have their friends, they have their girlfriends, boyfriends, and everything like that. I started to realize that, as an adult, it's a lot harder for me to get a game, pick it up, and not put it down until I finish it. I still haven't beaten Arkham Knight yet.
Yeah, like I was telling you, I have so many games that I start playing and I stop and I play something else and I forget what I've been doing in the other games, so I have to restart it, and it's like a cycle of
Exactly.
it's crazy.
You end up with all these unfinished games. I got Type 0 back in March when it came out. I still haven't beaten it because I have other things that I have to get to. And I mean, that's been a thing my whole life. If I haven't beaten a game before a new game comes out, that game's not getting finished unless it's really, really good. I mean, Type 0 is fucking amazing, don't get me wrong. Final Fantasy Type 0 for the people that don't know. I had other games that I wanted to touch. I had other games that I wanted to play. It was also a gift to me, so it was something I definitely couldn't get rid of, even if I haven't beaten it. I traded in my Majora's Mask. I touched it for a day for a 3DS, and I had the strategy guide too, and I traded the game in, and I ended up getting rid of my 3DS and all this stuff for a Vita, but that's off topic. As a kid, we came home, we touched a game, and we didn't put it down. That's all we did, because we didn't have the internet. I mean, we did, but as kids, we didn't really touch it. We had a home computer, and that was for the entire family, and we ran off freaking... oh god, PTSD. Dude, my neighbor has a fax machine in his second story window that makes that noise. I'm like, oh god, it freaking kills me all the time because it's so funny. And it's like PTSD. And then when somebody freaking picks up the phone, oh god, someone picks up the phone, you're done. You're done for the day.
Pretty much,
we didn't have the internet. We weren't sitting on the computer. Hell, you and or at least me, my computer's my life now.
Yeah, pretty much.
I do YouTube, my own YouTube, as well as this one. I talk to people all the time, and I play games all the time with my friends, and I talk to my friends on a 24/7 basis, also on my phone. We're busy all the time now. We're doing things, and we want to do things all the time. When we were kids, all we had was playing outside with our friends, coming inside, playing games with our friends or by ourselves. That was it. And as adults, we're super busy. There was a topic that Nathan was telling me about before we started this. I don't know if you want to go into it. You know which one I'm talking about, right?
Couch co-op.
Yeah, couch versus online.
And I remember when we were kids and we were playing Mario Party, or we were playing Space Invaders back when we used to play that all the time. It's
that game. Fuck that game.
We have the ability to give each other high fives and like just be like awesome. Like that picture you showed me where like it was like 300, like these guys were like fighting with like swords and all that stuff. If you remember that,
What are you talking about?
it's like gaming with your friends, like co-oping with your friends, and
Oh
then it's
yeah, it
like
was just like, and then when we're playing against each other, it was showing like people wanting to kill each other and stuff like that. Shit was
yeah,
funny.
but like that was back then, but now it's like especially if we don't talk like in Splatoon, if we play in Splatoon, you can't talk to anybody. So it's kind of like you're enjoying it, but it's like you have nobody else to enjoy it
Yeah,
with. It's,
but
it's
I think Nintendo realizes though that I mean, yeah, for the younger audience, for their children-based people who don't have these kind of things. I mean, actually, you know what? To be honest, 8-year-olds have phones now. But
yeah, it's
I don't. You have to be pretty well versed and be able to have cool parents enough to own a computer. And like, I think Nintendo realizes that if people want to talk to each other, they'll use their computers.
a good point. Yeah,
Cause like
Skype.
we Skype each other when we play games. We don't I play Xbox with my friends and I barely use Xbox Live Chat. Like I don't because it's atrocious and I have to plug another cord into my controller and it gets another cord that's in the fucking way. Cords.
Squids.
Yeah, and like yeah, the bounce off what Nathan's saying is just like when we were younger, we were around friends a lot of the time. We usually were like we made friends with the kids that were in our neighborhoods and we played games with those friends. If we had friends in school who lived at faraway places, sometimes we'd go there, but half the time we just stick around the people that lived in our neighborhood only to play
Yep.
games, to like sit on a couch and play games with each other now. As adults, our friends don't live in our neighborhoods anymore.
And
Like
especially with
it
me and
like
you, like we don't even live in the same state.
exactly. We haven't lived in the same state, and if it wasn't for the internet, I don't know where we'd be right now. We'd be sending freaking
Exactly.
letters to each other and waiting weeks to be able to hear back from one another. But we literally stay in contact every day. We've known each other since we were 6, and we're turning 23 on. I'm turning 23 on 20th Monday, which is tomorrow technically, and then Nathan turns the day after.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, we're 23 now, and in order for like most people have moved out of their parents' house or their parents have moved at some course throughout their life away from their friends.
Yeah.
And in order for us as adults to play games on next to each other, we have to get in a car and drive a good 10 to 30 miles to see each other to play games. Now, for the people that are a lot older than us, like who, were in college or college or something like that when say the SNES and stuff were out, like before
Yeah.
the internet and everything like that, they would have to wait like maybe a couple of weeks to a good month to actually go and hang out with one another and play games. Like, and they would have to make a weekend out of it, or they'll have to make a couple of hours out of it, and then like not do it again for a good long time. There's some friends that I haven't seen in a good fucking while. I was literally talking to a friend of mine today, and I haven't seen him in a while, and we're trying to make plans for next weekend, but the way my schedule works, you never know. Everything
Yeah. Especially
happens
yeah.
like at the drop of a dime these days. Like, especially like me, I never thought my life would be like that. I never thought that like I could never really make plans unless it was something that was really, really, really important for me to do. Like if it was a movie or if it was like recording or work
Yep.
or things with my
Exactly.
girlfriend. Always have to plan things with her because like those have to be there. You can't drop that. Like you never know what happened. Like today, I had to go do something. I had to drop everything I was doing at the drop of a dime to help out a relative today. Yeah. So like you never know. And I'm sorry for the people that are like in their 30s and stuff now and had to deal with that kind of thing where they never got to play games with friends because now we have online. We play games with friends online all the time. I literally had not seen a human contact of one of my friends. Like, I mean, I did last weekend because I was doing a secret project that I can't talk to anybody about.
Ooh.
Um, I was working on something else. That was the first time I've seen a human contact of a friend in a very, very, very long time.
That's
Um,
what you look like, huh?
huh?
That's what you look like, huh?
It's yeah, exactly. It's like, hey, I remember you. It's like, oh, you got a haircut, nice. And yeah, like I don't see human contact with people, but I still play games with them all the
Yeah.
time, like on a daily basis, and I have not seen their face, and that's how life has changed as adults. Like we have succumbed to either waiting months to see each other to play games on the couch next to each other, or we have to succumb to only playing games that are online only. Or if
Yep.
we're playing the same game, we can get in a Skype and play the same game at the same time, but we end up in two different locations. Like
Yeah, it's
it's
like
not like how you and me used to be. Like the reason why we made this channel, where like we sat down next to each other. We were the original like couch solo players. We would literally
yes.
watch each other play games. We didn't give a fuck about it if we were playing it. We'd take turns.
Yep.
That's how we were, and that's another thing. Like as adults, we've kind of lost that. I feel we've lost the ability to be able to sit on a couch and watch a friend play a game because our attention span sucks, and we have to be
Yes.
doing something too. Because as adults, our attention span is very little. I barely remember what I have for lunch. Like that's bad.
I don't even remember what I had for dinner.
Exactly, and that was like a
That's even
couple of
worse.
hours ago. Like our attention span is so little.
And
Especially
like,
like when you're working a 9 to 5 job or whatever
yeah,
like that.
especially
You-
that.
You're worrying about your bills.
And like in my recording of my finale of Shovel Knight, I was literally talking about something 5 seconds afterwards. I totally forgot what I was talking about because I was on something
I've done that
else.
a few times. Oh my god, I've done that so much. Yeah, and
It's
oh man,
awful.
yeah, and you finally finished that one night. I watched that finale, man. Like you sounded like you were so sad to end it, but
Oh man.
getting off topic again. But yeah, like as children, like
And
it
it's
was a lot more difficult. We had to play with the people that were in our neighborhood. We had no choice.
and especially right now, like we might be able to get in Skype, but we can't actually watch each other play games because we're not looking on the screen
Yeah, we
unless
can't
one
see
of us
each other's
streams.
reactions when something funny happens. You
And
know?
I think that's the biggest thing about what we're talking about is back then we used to like it was kind of like co-oping a solo game in a sense because like we would be able to experience the same game
And help
with
each
each
other out.
other. Yes, exactly. And it say there's a jump or something in this game that I can't pass.
Yeah,
You
like
pass the controller to you and like you just do it. It's
yeah,
like,
and now like PlayStation has that thing where you're supposed to be able to like help each other out from like miles away now.
oh yeah, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
and it was funny because, like I was saying, that now I can actually bring up your Shovel Knight finale because, like, yeah, like when we're next to each other, we help each other out. We can help, like, hey, do this though. This is a lot better. There was a lot of times during that Shovel Knight finale when like you were facing the Enchantress, where I was just
Oh my
like,
God, it
when
was
you were like
horrible.
hopping off of Shovel Knight's shield and smacking her in the face, I was like, get on her fucking head. It's like bounce on her head.
I didn't
The
realize
entire
until
time I
afterwards. Yeah.
wanted you. You eventually did it, but like I wanted to say that so bad,
Yeah.
and you can't. Ow! You can't do that online. I punched my desk because I'm very hands on when I talk.
I
Um,
mean, my hands are everywhere as well. They're like mitts.
but yeah, like you can't do that online. You can't help each other out with things. Like I know like between me and another friend helping each other out with Batman, Arkham Knight, we had to literally use Snapchat and be like, how do you do this? How do you get this riddle? Fuck the riddles. Oh my god, did that 4 times in a row. I don't want to do it anymore. Especially to get the ending. But yeah, like you can't get the experience playing games next to each other that like you online you can't get the experience while playing online. You have to be next to each other. The experience is so much better. I remember like what is it a couple of months almost a year ago now, when I had like a bunch of friends over. It was much funner playing games next to each other. I
Yeah,
played more
exactly. Yeah.
Nintendo games next to each other than I played online. Well, I mean, I don't have a Wii U yet, but but like I think yeah, even if when I get a Wii U, I'm gonna have a lot more funner time playing those games next to someone than I am playing them online. No matter how much I play that shit online, because I could play a Nintendo game for days. Uh,
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
and like yeah, I feel like it's you got to be next to each other, and we can't do that a lot as adults anymore. Like Eric, he lives in the same town that I do. We live near each other, and I don't see him. I can't see him. He doesn't live in my neighborhood anymore. Believe it or not, guys, me, Grim, and Eric grew up together. We
Yeah.
all lived in the same neighborhood. Eric lives in a different part of the town than I do, and Nathan lives in a different state than I do. And we grew up
Yeah. We
together, and
li
we're still super close.
yeah we literally like lived. I lived 1 block away from Eric, and I lived 5 blocks away from Aaron, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, like I still sometimes I'll drive by his old house for fun, not to be creepy or anything, but just to see what the new people that moved in there. I think the same. I think the people that moved in there after you were still living there. But just to see if they changed anything to the outside of it.
Yeah, like what you remember my house
Yeah, what I
being.
remember being like that palm tree outside that ended up putting a spider in your bag that ended up in my room. That was so freaky, dude. We
I
never
remember
remember we
that.
never found that fucking spider. I threw a blanket on it and we never found it. I threw a
Dude,
blanket and I stomped the shit out of that blanket. I removed the blanket and it was fucking gone.
spiders are the death of
It's so
everybody.
creepy. I'm hoping that
I remember
watch. It's
looking
gonna
into the
come back
bag
for
and
a
like
vengeance
seeing like
after a decade of being gone. Like,
that's its sole purpose of living is just to attack one of us. I've survived
oh my god, we're
50
going back
million
into
years.
nostalgia, man. But that's basically it. That's all we have is nostalgia. Like
Yeah.
gaming, you, you gaming as kids. I miss it. I really do. Gaming as adults is not as fun as it used to be.
And to go into our next topic, like when you were a kid, you were like besides of course playing with your friend, like if your friend's watching you, and like you obviously have like your both of your minds into this game trying to figure out this game out. If you were playing alone, that was it. Like if you couldn't pass a certain level, that was it. Because obviously nowadays it's the internet and YouTube and walkthroughs and all that. But back then,
Oh yeah.
you were
I was
screwed.
just
You were
about to
screwed.
I was just about to think the same thing about talking about that. Like this I mean, I don't know when you're watching this, but I'm gonna speak of like right now as us as adults and everybody who's an adult now, and then go back to when everybody who's an adult now was a kid,
Yes.
and jump off of that subject that you were just talking about. Oh my god, like today the internet spoils everything.
Oh my
I
God, it's
like
horrible.
I'm sorry, I hate IGN. I'm this close to unfollowing everything they do because I can't stand them anymore. They'll literally put the spoiler in the title with a picture showing the spoiler of the title that leads to an article that goes into a two-page in-depth article on the spoiler. Like, I'm sorry, title your things better. Like, everything on the internet spoils the games now. Everybody has to spoil them for everybody. Like, I can understand in that, like, a couple of months down the road, you can spoil those kind of things. But, like, really? Like, yeah, and when we were younger, when we were kids, we didn't have those kind of spoilers. We got to
Yes, it
experience
was
the
perfect.
games for ourselves, and we didn't have anybody but ourselves. I remember playing Ocarina of Time for the first time and getting to the Ganon boss. I was young and dumb and full of cum, and I apparently did not know how to parlay or ricochet rather. Like the part,
Yeah.
the part where you have to knock the light back at him.
A
I
little
re-
funny tip right here. You can actually use a bottle instead of your sword
yeah,
if you like time it right, which is pretty awesome.
yeah, I remember that, but it was funny because years later, playing Twilight Princess, the same shit
Yeah.
happens, and I'm smacking. You guys can't see this, but I'm gonna try to detail how my face, my reactions to this.
And I'm looking at it right
With my
now.
voice. He could see me because we got to be it's better for us to see each other. I was
Yeah.
sitting there smacking the light back at him, and all of a sudden I just paused the game and I stood there. Think of me holding my sword back because I'm using the Wii nunchuck, and I'm using the Wii nunchuck as like my the motion. I'm holding it back and I'm sitting there, and it dawned on me. I'm an idiot, and I could have beaten Ocarina of Time a long time ago. I still have not beat Ocarina of Time because I'm stupid, and I didn't know how to knock back the light he was shooting at me. And I'm holding it
Oh,
there, thinking of Twilight Princess, paused the game, and I wanted to throw my controller at the screen so fucking hard. Like, I didn't have that. Like, if I had the internet today and I had strategy guys, I mean, there were strategy guys back in the day, but I was fucking like
yes,
6 years of age playing these kind of games, and I was like, I don't know what strategy guy is.
also like picking games when you were a kid, like you had like besides trailers and like on the TV, you had
You
no
barely
idea.
had trailers on TV.
Yeah,
You never
exactly.
had I literally got my games because of the thing. Like my mom got me into gaming. She said it was a good idea for me. Like doctors said it was a good idea for me, especially my eye doctors say that because I have exophoria, which means basically think of someone staring straight. I can make one eye go a different direction, and same with the other eye, just not at the same time. And it helped keeping those two together so they don't veer off on their own if I played video games. So my mom got those for me to help me out. So I got games that my mom would just give to me. And then my brother was 5 years older than me, so there'd be some games he would give, and his friends were educated. That's when I got into Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy VIII was the very first Final Fantasy game I ever played, and because of my brother's friend. So I was heavily influenced on my games because of the random games my parents would give me. The cover art. Don't judge a book by its cover. I'm sorry, you can't like a literal book. I mean literal things. I'm not talking about people in a sense, not the
Yeah.
metaphorical sense, but the literal term. We judged books by its cover, and we still do today. Like it dealt with the cover. The cover looked cool. I fucking grabbed it, and
That's
then it was
exactly what I
like
was
my
gonna talk
brother,
about.
my brother and his friends, and then friends around me talking about games that they played. Like we were heavily influenced on games by the people around us. Now we're heavily influenced by games because we could see the trailer, we could see the gameplay, and all this stuff as adults. We're heavily like in the gaming community now where we can
Yep.
play games we never would have thought of. And then we're seeing older games that are as like, where was that when I was younger? Because we couldn't get our hands on those games because nobody that we knew played them.
Yes, exactly. And that's where E3 comes in and it
Exactly. Like E3 hasn't
shows you
been,
tons of stuff.
I don't E3 has been around a lot longer than we have, I believe. I could be wrong.
Yes, I think around the 90s, I think, when it started. It's a thing. I'm not sure either.
Yeah, like it's been around a while. But like we didn't know about it because nothing on TV showed it. It was a convention that was never broadcasted. They would show it on the little tiny blogs that they had back in the day, but we didn't have it on TV. And then satellite TV was a thing with G4, rest in peace. Um,
Yes, it used to be great.
yeah, that's what we're based on is G4. Get it? G3, G4. Did not plan it. I promise. Um,
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's right.
and we got the CE3 on there, and now we get the CE3 across everything that we own. Like, literally, PC, every gaming console that we own, phones. Like, we could see, we're heavily influenced now, and we're actually able to see everything the world of gaming has to offer now. As kids, we didn't. And I don't think a lot of people did. You had to go to
Yeah,
your neighborhood blockbuster, rest in peace, to get like a game
God.
that to get a game that you never heard of before. And that's how I was on that.
I remember seeing Pokemon Snap and being like,
That game was so cool.
I need to get this. But
I
yeah,
I remember smacking the Charmeleon in the face with an apple and turning him into Charizard.
oh my
I was
God.
like,
I'm gonna have to get the game again because it was something special in my opinion.
yeah, dude, I want to play Halo You Pikachu. I was
That's another
so
game.
sad that you got rid of that. So mad at you.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like when I got that, like I was expecting like Pokemons to be battling and all this stuff. Like it was like as much as I remember, it was Pikachu, and like you could like obviously you use your voice to control Pikachu and like
Yeah,
go where he
there
wants to
was a
go.
special. The for those of you who don't know, I'm gonna I'm gonna get images and put them on the screen. Hey You Pikachu had a console of its own, and I think the controller for the console came with the console, and you couldn't. I don't remember if you could get the controller separate for different things. It had a mic at the top of the controller above the start button, and that's how you talked into it. You'd be like, "Hey, Pikachu," and then the Pikachu would be like, "Pika," and then like answer
Yeah,
you and come to you, and you would go. Was kind of like Pokemon Snap in the sense that you didn't battle things. It was the cool idea of running around with a Pokemon and being a Pokemon trainer and being able to like control the Pokemon and like talk to them. Like the
yeah,
idea in the N64 days was a phenomenon, and it was weird.
yeah. It was pretty great.
Yeah, and now we got VR and Connect.
All this crazy stuff.
Yeah, like as as an adult, like with Skyrim with Connect and stuff, you were able to shout things and equipped with your voice. I made my friend whirlwind sprint off of a cliff and auto saved on him because of Connect. It's a curse.
Yeah.
It's a curse. He couldn't save himself. He ended up dying, losing all his stuff. Oh my god, yeah, like we have a lot more games now, and especially like people are making older games. Like as
Like Shovel
adult
Knight.
people, yeah, like Shovel Knight is an old classic game, but with better tech. Like
Also,
you see them do things in those games that look super pretty
yeah,
and
exactly.
everything that you would never see on the Super Nintendo.
Eric showed me a game yesterday on Steam. I can't remember what it's called, but it was heavily inspired by Super Ghouls and Ghosts. I think it was Demon Crest, and I can't remember the third one, but it looks really, really awesome. And seeing that, like back then, like imagine how hard gaming, like creating a game was. It's like nowadays, it's actually pretty easy. Like anybody can make a
Yeah.
game almost.
Well, I mean, hell, me and my friends have learned how to make games. Like we've one of my friends is in college for it right now, and you can literally go online for free legally, like
Yep.
legal. Get Unreal Engine 4, which some of the best fucking games, including Kingdom Hearts 3, out hopefully next year, is being made on this engine, and you can just pick it up, and it's freaking, for lack of a better word, pay to win. You would pay for the assets, to be able to make in this game, and you can make whatever game you fucking want, and it's insane.
Yeah,
An
which is
8-year-old
another
can
thing.
learn to make a game now and make one and sell it online and be one of the richest 8-year-olds in the world now. Back
I mean, look
then,
at
you
Flappy
had to
Bird.
be
Like,
like in your 20s to be able to make a
yeah,
game.
exactly. Yeah. I mean, like you had like I don't know the process behind it, but like making games back then, obviously you had to be a somebody, and like you had to have
You had to have
like
connections.
basically, yeah.
Yeah, like yeah. You said Flappy Bird. That game was free, and it had ads on it. Every single time you would die, an ad would pop up. That dude made literally $50,000 American dollars. He did not live in America. So
North
what?
Korea, I
I
think.
don't know. I don't think it was North Korea. I think it was like a different country. I don't know for sure. I don't want to say it and bastardize where this guy lives.
That is
But
true.
he was making $50,000 of American currency. Like it was American currency, $50,000 a day on
On some
ads.
stupid game.
That
Like
was
it's
like it
like
stole the background to Mario.
it could have been made by anybody, and it's like
And the dude took it down
what?
because he got too famous. Like that's the thing. Like as adults now, like that's insane. Like out of our
Yeah,
generation, this is
that
obviously
is
speaking
true.
of our generation. Like of anybody's generation that grew up from the very start of the games to when next generation games started happening with like the internet and online multiplayer and stuff like that. Like things have changed. Things are different, way different than what we would expect as when we were kids.
Yeah.
And it's bizarre to even think about. Like as kids, we like wrapping this all up now. Getting to our
Oh,
oh, go ahead.
I
I'm
wanted to
gonna
throw
let
out one more
Nathan,
thing
and then I'm gonna
before
get to our conclusion.
the renting games part that we
Oh
talked
yeah.
about. Like, and I don't like I never had to do this, but Aaron was telling me that he could rent an actual controller, and I had no idea that
Yeah,
was
you
possible.
could rent consoles. Like you could rent you can rent controllers, you could rent consoles back in the day. This was SNES days and N64 days. You couldn't do it after that point because it was getting to the point to where these things were coming back broken. So
Yeah,
they
and like
couldn't afford
stolen.
it. Yeah, stolen, broken. So they just stopped doing it and they just did games because Blockbuster was getting heavy into whatchamacallit.
Bankruptcy?
No, no, they were more into the movies than they were games. Blockbuster was, and now today, like you could go to a store, rent a game for like $4 to $7 a day, and then come back home, play it, and return it. Nowadays, like they have things like GameFly and PlayStation Now,
Yep.
like where you can literally like rent games from afar away. You don't have to leave your house to rent a game. You literally get them from an online service and get them sent to you, or like things with PlayStation Now where you can stream those games, as shitty as it is and as laggy as it can be. That's insane to even think about. I mean, then again, he was also streaming it at the same time as streaming the game, so it's just like, ah, God, I can't handle this overload of upload download data. Um,
But yeah, like experiencing like especially back in the day when when we did rent, because like you have to imagine like, we were kids back then, so we didn't buy a lot of games, so we had to rent a lot of them,
mhm.
and like just experiencing going into a Blockbuster and renting a game, like it was like and nowadays it's like,
Or playing the demos in the
Mom!
middle of Walmart breaking your neck.
That's true as well,
Because
yeah.
we would have to look up at like a freaking 45
My
degree
God.
angle just to
That
play
was
these
the only
games.
I was playing Crazy Taxi from the Dreamcast, and like that was the only time I played it.
Oh my god.
It was like I wish they brought that back. Like I think my Walmart has two stations where you could play. Well, actually, no, my GameStop has it. I think my Walmart doesn't have it at all. Like you were saying, like back in the day, like they had every system that was out
Hmm.
would have a TV and like would have a special game that like you'd be able to play. And they even have like they had Game Boys back in the day when they were first started coming out and all that. Like I remember just playing Pokemon.
Yeah.
Pikachu, oh, damn it,
And, and
kill this
and
guy.
and to think more about like on our side of things rather than like the plethora of all these, things out there.
Yeah.
Is that like us gaming as kids, it was about the game. Like it didn't matter what console it was on, it was a game. And
Yes,
they all did the same thing. Some things just played differently than others a little bit. But
And that's
sorry,
where our
had the
logo
burp.
comes from, like the in it for the games. That's
Yeah, well, it's not our logo, it's our motto.
it's yeah, it's a motto. Never
Um,
mind.
like, and nowadays it's heavily influenced by the console and what they can do. Like the Wii U did it, started doing its own thing with the touchpad, having a second screen experience to the game. A lot of third-party developers had problems with, and so it's not really about a lot of the games anymore. Like it still is, but some of it's very heavily influenced by the console. Like a lot of people are master race
Oh
PC
my God, the
because of
PC
the fact
Master Race
that the
people.
PC, I mean, it's true. The PC can upgrade a lot of the
Yeah.
stuff, and right now, as it's looking, Arkham Knight may not work on PC until September for a lot of
Uh-huh.
people. And well, that was a heavy problem with there, and they ported it over to another person to do it for them, and it was
Oh yeah, they
basically
got
they
lazy.
ported the console version to PC. That's why it's not working, because they didn't build it for console. I mean, they didn't build it for PC. They ported it to PC, and that's a no-no. But to get to the conclusion of everything we're talking about, gaming as children was a lot different. As kids, we gamed with the people that we knew. We learned about games from the people that we knew, and what was given to us randomly. We was like, okay, he might like this. Like speaking of our parents, he might like this, so they'll get it. Or judging a book by its cover, thinking a cover is really cool on a case of a game, and getting it and playing it and loving the hell out of it or hating the hell out of it. And difficulty was another matter of stuff. But like we got to conclude it, so I don't want to get into too detail because we could go forever into the difficulty. But
Yeah.
like yeah, like as kid, you played with the people in your neighborhood. You go over and all you had was couch potato. You would literally
Yep.
couch co-op the games with your friends, even if they were single player, just helping each other out. And as adults, you have to travel miles and miles away to see your friends, or you play online through your PCs or gaming console on networks, Xbox Live, PSN, Nintendo.
Nintendo
What's
Network?
yeah,
Nintendo Network?
Nintendo Network.
Think so?
Sorry if we said the Nintendo's wrong. Swear we're on Nintendo side here. We're Nintendo
Yes.
fanboys. I mean, we have
I am.
Nintendo.
I
We have
am.
Nintendo love. I'm a PlayStation
Yes.
fanboy, but I love Nintendo to the end of the earth. Everything I say mean about Nintendo is because I love them. Um, yeah, you have to leave to go find your friends and hang out with them and play games with each other or play online. You don't really get the experience that we used to because we have
Yep.
lives, we have things we have to do, and people we have to see. And some people are married, some people have kids, and they
Some
can't
people
play
that
games
work
as
like
long as
third
they are.
shift.
Yeah, some people have to work like in the middle of the night and
Yeah.
they have to wake up the next day and do it all over again. They don't like things are different and things are tougher. And to all those gamers that have those kind of lives, like, I'm sorry. And I hope you find the time to beat the games that you love doing. And I hope the internet doesn't spoil them for you because God
Yes.
knows it's going to spoil it the next day you play the damn thing.
Yahoo's the worst thing ever.
I don't follow them. I hate Yahoo. But as always, guys, this is Geek Out Topic. I'm going to leave open what next week's is because we haven't quite decided yet. We have plenty of topics we want to talk about for the next couple of weeks.
It's gonna be awesome.
Three actually on the table, just to give you a little hint. There's three of them that we're talking about, just putting them in order. As always, my name is Aaron, aka Letfum,
My name is Nathan, aka Grim.
and thank you guys for watching, all the lovers of geekdom, and we will see you for the rest of the game content we do for the rest of the week. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Also, another thing, put in the comments down below like your childhood experiences and your adult experiences, how playing as games differs from your playing as adults as an individual. We would love to read about them and comment back and have a conversation.
Yeah, and say which one do you prefer?
Yes, do you prefer gaming as adults over gaming as kids? Because some people do. But yeah, we'll see you guys later.